Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another real tale with you. This story is from January 2nd, 2024 in Etawah, UP, a well-known place. A body was found on a railway line at a railway station in Etawah. It was morning and the body had been run over by the last train, leaving it in a severely damaged condition as if it had been cut into pieces. And it was very difficult to identify the body because it was not recognizable and it was fully clothed, but there were no belongings or ID proof found near it. The railway police took the body, transported it to the hospital, and after the post-mortem, kept it in the hospital morgue since no one had claimed it and there was no ID proof. The body remained in the morgue for 2 days, and on the third day, 5 people arrived at the police station saying they had come to claim the body found at the railway station 2 days ago. When the police asked their relation to the deceased, one man said the deceased's name was Atul Kumar and he was their relative. A man among them claimed he was his son. The police requested proof, but they asked to see the clothes of the deceased for identification. The police insisted on some proof before releasing the body. Eventually, they provided an Aadhaar card, an Indian identity card, but the condition of the body made it impossible to match with the identity card's photo. However, they identified the clothes as belonging to Atul. The police then asked everyone to provide their ID proofs for the record, and after receiving them, handed over the body, which was cremated on January 5th. The cremation was completed, and the police believed the case was resolved, whether it was a suicide or an accident. But on the next day, January 6th, 4 more people arrived at the police station claiming to be relatives of the body found on the railway track. The police were shocked and explained that they had already handed over the body to 5 people who identified themselves as relatives and recognized the clothes and Aadhaar card. The new group claimed that the previous visitors couldn't be the real relatives. One of the new visitors said the clothes the deceased wore were the same as his son's, and he provided another Aadhaar card which had the name Satyavir Rajput, different from the name Atul Kumar on the previous identity card. Police then asked them whether his name was Satyavir or Atul. 4 people who had come presented their Aadhaar cards to the police and said, "If you don't believe us, come to our village. You'll see the truth that he was indeed Satyavir and our son who has passed away." The police were puzzled by the situation. Different people were coming to claim the body and asserting it was their relative. The police were also troubled because they had already handed over the body and the final rites had been performed. If the claimants were fake and the real parents were now standing before them, how would they retrieve the body? The police were worried that if senior officers found out they had handed over the body without proper verification, their jobs would be in jeopardy. When the case reached senior officers, they were also astonished by the scenario of multiple families claiming the body as their relative. The police began their investigation by verifying the Aadhaar cards and phone numbers of the people who had come on January 6th. The investigation revealed that the documents and information provided were legitimate, and the Aadhaar card belonged to a real person named Satyavir. It appeared that the claimants from January 6th were indeed the true relatives of the deceased. The police were now left wondering who the people were that took the body the previous day. They checked the Aadhaar cards and phone numbers those people had registered and found that all the phone numbers were now disconnected and the Aadhaar cards were fake. This confirmed that the earlier claimants were frauds and the current claimants were telling the truth about their son. With the truth out, the police apologized to Satyavir's parents, explaining the mistake of handing over their son's body to the wrong people. Satyavir's parents were deeply saddened by not only their son's death, but also by not being able to perform his final rites. The police were now concerned about the motives of the fraudsters who had claimed the body and their connection to Satyavir. And now the police have begun investigating how someone could come with a fake Aadhaar card, present a fake number at the police station, and take away a body without any proof. The police had no evidence. The Aadhaar card numbers were incorrect, and the phone numbers given were also false. With no strong leads, the police decided to check the CCTV footage from all cameras around the morgue, whether on shops, hotels, or anywhere else, from January 8th. All the cameras around the morgue were reviewed, but initially nothing was found. Then, in one CCTV camera, the suspects were visible, but it was raining, causing the footage to be unclear. The police confirmed that these were the individuals who came to take the body, though their faces were not clear. One suspect's face was slightly visible, and the police compared it with their criminal records but found no matches. None of the 5 suspects had any criminal records, leaving the police puzzled on how to catch them without clear evidence or contact information. The police continued gathering support and questioning people in the vicinity. They developed the unclear image from the footage, revealing a recognizable face. One officer identified the man as lawyer Hetram Mittal, known for his aggressive nature and with several cases against him, including a recent accusation of abducting someone's daughter. The police were aware of the lawyer's notorious reputation and frequent involvement in such cases. They discreetly began their investigation, tracing the lawyer's phone records and checking the CCTV footage around his residence. This led to the identification of the other 4 accomplices. On January 5th, when the suspects presented fake Aadhaar cards, their names were Hindu, but in reality the 4 boys with the lawyer were Muslims. The fake Aadhaar cards had names like Atul Kumar and Parmeshwar Lal. The police wondered why they used Hindu names and why they chose the body that had been cut by a train, a case deemed an accident by witnesses at the railway track. The lawyer, unaware that the police were closing in, was eventually caught. When confronted, he denied any involvement, claiming he had never been to the police station and knew nothing about the case. The police presented their evidence and questioned him about his motives and connections to the body, but he continued to deny any wrongdoing. The police said, "Don't say such things. We have evidence that you took a body, and that too by fraud. What benefit did you get from this? We need to know what you did with the body after taking it. Why did you need that body? And what was your connection with Satyavir?" This case was very complicated. The police were also very surprised because it wasn't a case of assault, threats, or robbery. Nobody had killed the man, nor had anyone paid to have him killed, and no one had threatened him to commit suicide. It was an accident, so the police couldn't hold them responsible for his death. The police were suspicious because they had taken a body and committed fraud right under the police's nose, which puzzled the police. However, the crime they committed did not warrant a long sentence because they hadn't committed murder. The lawyer knew this and was telling the police, "Go ahead, give the sentence." When the police caught the lawyer, his entire family's life and background came to light, which was astonishing. The story involved the body, which 2 families had come to claim, one on January 5th and the other on January 6th. The lawyer was married but had a falling out with his wife, causing them to live separately. 4 years earlier, the lawyer met a girl named Muskan in Etawah and started liking her. They began talking, became friends, and slowly Muskan fell in love with him, starting their love story. They decided to get married. When Muskan's family learned about this, they investigated and discovered that the lawyer was already married. Her parents didn't want their daughter to marry someone already married, so they refused. In the meantime, the lawyer eloped with Muskan, leading her father to file a report with the police. The case didn't go far because Muskan was more than 18 years old and she was sent back home. The lawyer then wondered how he could marry Muskan. He devised a plan involving a conspiracy that would take care of everything. It wasn't a major crime that would keep him in jail for life. He created fake Aadhaar cards, including one in the name of Atul Kumar, with false information and a fake photo. The lawyer then instructed his accomplices to find a dead body to carry out their plan. Since December 2023, they had been searching for a body to complete their scheme. Now their plan was to find a body without any criminal case associated with it, meaning a body of someone who died in an accident, so that no criminal case would follow after the death. The lawyer discovered by the same 4 boys that there was an unidentified body at the Friends Colony police station with no known identity or relatives. This body was kept in the morgue because it was unknown and no family members had claimed it yet. They thought if they took this body, their entire plan would succeed. so they submitted their fake Aadhaar cards and took the body away. As soon as they got the body, they performed the last rites. Now, what did they achieve? But the main point was that they wanted to show that Muskan saw Atul Kumar and fell in love with him, then married him. This would benefit them in two ways. First, the lawyer's wife also knew about Muskan, and the lawyer had to prove to his wife that he had nothing to do with Muskan, as Muskan was involved with someone else and had married him. Second, by taking an unknown body, they planned to frame Muskan's parents for the murder, thus sending them to jail and clearing the way for the lawyer to marry Muskan without any obstacles. This conspiracy was going well, but their plan was foiled on January 6th when the actual parents of the body arrived to claim it. They intended to cremate the body and frame Muskan's parents for the murder. If they cremated the body, there would be no evidence of Atul Kumar. Muskan would go to the police station, claim her husband Atul Kumar had been missing for days, and suspect her parents of killing him. This would result in her parents going to jail, allowing her to marry the lawyer and live a happy life. They had created a fake ID card for Atul Kumar so that when Muskan went to the police station, she could show the ID to prove that her parents killed her husband, even though the person in the photo did not exist at all. So, this was today's story. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. We hope you enjoyed the content and found it valuable.